And loving Sai Rams again to all of you. With Swami's blessings and my humble prostrations and salutations at Swami's lotus feet, indebted is just a small word, Swami. He has helped us entirely through this retreat. Moving mountains, you're here in the mountains, but many mountains have been moved and still in motion, and hoping that Swami will help us move the rest of the mountains and clear our path so that this retreat is going to be a beautiful, beautiful offering at Swami's Divine Lotus Feet. So welcome again, and thank you all for registering. We are very, very happy again, Swami's blessings again, that we have about 430 devotees registered through this event. Yeah, so please give yourself a round of applause because you have come here to participate and come together in unity. That's the most important part that Swami always talks about. Oneness, right? Find the oneness in this vast ocean of people who are there, finding that community of Sai. That's been very important for us. So why retreat, right? We can find it in our own communities. We don't have to get together en masse like this and come together, right? So retreats offer us a platform where not only can we meet together, right, as one family, but also exchange different ideas, invigorate, and reinstate our love, right? And attach to that life form that is within us, that is our dear Sai. We not only learn from each other, connect. I mean, we've all had Zoom connections, right? This whole retreat planning has been based on Zoom. And so it's been from Orlando to Raleigh, from Atlanta to St. Thomas, from different states, all across our region. We've made those connections. But this brings the fruition here. When people come together and then meet one another in person, that makes it all happen. So what I want to tell people is that from this retreat, what is our perspective? What should each devotee seek? Swami has a message for each and every one of us, believe it or not. So keep in tune with that Swami. With us, he's here, and he's within all of you. So channel and connect to that frequency of Swami so that you will receive that divine message that you can take home and practice. This is all about transformation. Even a small step in this direction is what this is. So regard this retreat as one which will transform you or take it along on that path of transformation for you. We've all looked at various aspects of this retreat to make everyone comfortable and to meet everyone's needs as well. But there will be some reasons for Swami to test us, right? And so please, you are Swami's voice. Please come and reach out to us and let us know how we can improve ourselves. Life is all about that, about doing better and better every time. So I have very little to say because I want to have the focus mainly on our national president. And we're very honored to have our SSSGC national president here. As you know, this is our first Region 3 SSSGC or Global Council retreat this year. And we're very lucky and honored to have Brother Balu. Dr. Balu is from our region, and we're really lucky to have him as well. So both the zonal chair as well as our national president are from our region. And so I would like to welcome Dr. Balu onto the stage and give us... As you see, he's very, very popular in every form.
सर्वभूत शान्तं सर्वनामधरं शिवं सच्चिदानन्दमद्वैतं सत्यं शिवं सुन्दरम्. I offer my humble salutations at the lotus feet of Swami, who is in all beings and who is in all names. He is Satchitananda Swarupa. He is the truth, beauty, and auspiciousness of our lives. Elders, sisters, brothers, and members of the Sai family, Sai Ram to all of you. Yes, we are all from this region, so there is no reason not to be here, actually. So we are, it is my honor and privilege to show where we are with the SSSGC. Of course, as Sister Winnie was saying, we were all stuck in rooms and being on Zooms, Zoom after Zoom. See, this is a different feeling, isn't it? Coming together, meeting everybody. I saw that when the Nagar Sankirtan was going on. I don't think we did any Nagar Sankirtan on Zoom any time, isn't it? Yeah. So, going on, like we can show it. Like basically, for the administrative reasons, we have divided USA into different parts. So, this is the SSSGC. We have 10 regions in SSSGC. You can go one by one. Let me not take too much time because I'm standing between the speaker and all of you. So first we have Northeast. You can go ahead. Yeah. See, this is the National Council. You can see that it is the national team which coordinates with the regional teams, and regional teams coordinate with the centers. Centers are the important, places where the Swami's activity goes on. Like again, hierarchy in the SSSGC is more on responsibilities. It's not a positional hierarchy. Let me say that and clarify to all of you. The next slide. In the Northeast, these are the, wonderful instruments of Swami serving him. Then we can go to Mid-Atlantic. Mid-Atlantic, we have entire team. Right now, they are doing their retreat. 650 people are attending that retreat also. So that's where we are. Then comes to Region 3. We should not forget there is, as Sister Winnie said, there is a center in St. Thomas in Atlantic Ocean. We are the only region where we have a center in the Atlantic. So we have complete, team, and they did a wonderful work, wonderful effort to bring all of you here. Just give them applause, actually. Then Region 4, that is in the mid-central. We have again wonderful team working on the Region 4. Then we can go to Region 5. We had a retreat also in Indianapolis in last October. So again, there is a complete team serving Swami in the Region 5. Then comes to Pacific North. We have a team, and this is going on. Again, see, expansion is Swami's life, isn't it? It started with small little Parthi, where it is expanded. Sai is all over the world. So that is, Swami is always like that. We have to be just his instruments to do his work. So next one, coming to the California region, we have combined 7 and 8 together. We call it California along with Hawaii. So we have a complete team there. We had recently a regional retreat with Sri Vedanarayan coming, and also we had a Sathya Sai Vratam done at Southern California, and also he spoke at Tustin Sai Center. Then Region 9, which is in Arizona, Phoenix area, we had a wonderful birthday celebrations. Actually, one of the brothers, Srijit, is here from that region, came to Region 3, actually. So everything is coming together and a lot of energy always. Then Region 10 is Texas, South Central. We have a complete team. And actually, Dallas Center started with 4 people. Today, it is 100 and odd devotees in that center. That's the way Swami thing goes on. Then coming to where we are, See, like we have Parthi pilgrimage is coming, 189 devotees have signed up for that. Then there is a center leadership conference which is coming. People from all over the world from SSSGC are coming and joining there. 1,200 delegates are signed up to Parthi for the, Guru Purnima time. And also YA program is going to happen. With that, I offer all these flowers. Each center is a flower at his lotus feet. I offer all of them at Swami's lotus feet. Sri Puttaparthi Nilayudu Kapadunu Mimmu Epudu Karudai Chepatti Patti Nilachunu Ye Pattunu Niluvakunda Yelunu Mimmun. This is what Swami said. He said, this Puttaparthi Nilayudu. He always called himself a sweet Lord of Puttaparthi. He'll always hold you. He'll never leave you. Let's hold on to him. Let's hold on to Swami. Jai Sai Ram.
Saram, everybody. My most humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Lord. It's my honor and privilege to introduce the speaker for today, Dr. Amey. Dr. Amey Deshpande has been an integral part of both the music group as well as the education wing in the Prashanthi Nilayam. I actually wanted to break his life into 3 different parts, like the man, the myth, and the legend. Yeah. For the man, I'll introduce him first. Yeah. Dr. Bhav or Dr. Amey Deshpande hails from Maharashtra. He was a student of the Sri Sathya Sai Primary School, Prashanthi Nilayam, from 1990 to 1993. He acquired his bachelor's degree in commerce from the Bangalore University. He pursued Chartered Accountancy. He has worked briefly with Hewlett Packard, and during this time, he was also a member of the Brindavan Bhajan group and also the Brindavan Sevadal. And in 2003, he enrolled for the MBA program in finance at the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. Thereafter, based on his conversation with Swami, he also registered for the MPhil program. In 2006, he was also awarded the gold medal for distinction in MPhil. He completed his doctorate or doctoral studies in 2016 in the areas of corporate strategy. During this period, he also taught students for the MBA program, and he's also taught about financial strategy, management control systems, and so on. I'm reminded of a small episode back then when Swami used to pull up my mark sheet in front of everybody. I'm reminded like how honored and great he is, because I was really like this in studies, and Dr. Amey is like this. Different story. And now about the myth, I've heard he eats like bhajans for breakfast, so we have to see how far that is true. Yeah, and the legend, and it is not very easy for someone to be part of the Parthi music group. I've been a part of the Parthi music group for a while. I've struggled it out because I was weak at studies, and my warden sir would never allow me to get into that realm because he said first you improve there. So I had to beg, borrow, steal, and come to a little bit level. So I know how difficult it is to sit in front of Swami every day and and being part of the Bhajan group. So it's extremely legendary to be part of that group. So I welcome you, like Dr. Amey.
साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Invoking the divine presence and his benediction on all of us, most revered elders, dear brothers and sisters, a very warm and loving Sai-Ram to all of you. And I take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you to make me a part of this beautiful regional retreat. Even as Brother Srivatsa was introducing me, I was reminded of a very beautiful Chinna Katha, a short story that Swami would often narrate. But even before that, I must acknowledge it is so wonderful to see so many of my brothers, Brother Uday Girish, who was my own batchmate, and so many of my elders, Brother Ravi Mariwala, and of course, Auntie Geeta, whom we respect so much. So wonderful to be amongst all of you, such loving souls. So coming back, to this Chinna Katha, this was one of those Chinna Kathas that Swami would pretty much not tell in public. He would always tell this, to all the students in Trai or in Sai Shruti. So the Chinna Katha goes like this. Several hundred years ago, there was a very famous sculptor, and he used to create absolutely mesmerizing statues of the Lord. Different, statues, whether it's Venkateshwara, Lord Krishna, and absolutely bewitching used to be his art. And people from all over the region would come and place orders, and he would, create these beautiful statues of the Lord, and those would be installed in their respective villages, in their homes, so on and so forth. Now it so happened that the sculptor got one of the most cherished, orders, and that was from the king of that particular region. The king himself placed an order for a beautiful Krishna statue. And so the sculptor created the Krishna statue, and it was absolutely mesmerizing, almost lifelike. After having completed that statue, now it had to be transported to the kingdom, the royal palace. And this sculptor, his means or his mode of transport to actually carry all of the idols used to be a donkey, his personal donkey. So he had taken this statue of the Lord, he placed it on the donkey's back, and the donkey started walking towards the capital city where the royal palace is. And now the donkey starts to move through the capital city, and it's buzzing, it's the downtown, it's supposed to be the CBD, the Central Business District, right? And for the first time, the donkey is seeing so much activity, bazaars and all the business tycoons over there. And the moment, the statue of the Lord enters into the marketplace, people seeing the statue, they are absolutely mesmerized. They are bewitched by the beauty of it. So all of them come forward and start throwing, flowers on, And now the donkey thinks that all of these flowers are for itself. So the donkey suddenly starts thinking, Swami explains, that the donkey starts to think that, finally my day has arrived. All of these years of hard work have finally found fruition because people have finally understood what a great person I am. Okay, and as the donkey is moving through, flowers are being thrown, and kumkum is being thrown, and chandan has been, felicitated. The Lord is being felicitated, and the donkey is feeling so good about himself. And finally, the donkey actually comes in front of the palace, and the king himself comes out to receive. Okay, and the donkey says, "Oh my God, this is too much. Please don't embarrass me." Right? And, the entire royal family, does Sashtang Pranam, kind of the full-fledged Pranam in front of the donkey. And the donkey says, it's okay, not so much. No, there's only so much that I can take. And so saying, the statue of the Lord is lifted, and in great ceremonial, kind of with Kumbhabhishekam, that Purna Kumbham, and Vedic chants, and all the musicians, it is carried in to the royal palace. And the donkey, kind of waits over there, thinking that there is more to come. And the moment the entire retinue has gone in, the soldiers over there, the gatekeepers, they said, hey, hey! They just kick the donkey out. What are you doing here? And the donkey is like, hey, it's me. Didn't you see, just a few minutes back? And, the donkey is just simply shooed away. And now as the donkey starts to make its way back to its master's home, there's absolutely nobody bothered about it, right? And Swami says the donkey starts to now thinking, he starts to think, oh, how fickle is the mind of man. Okay, how fickle-minded. Just a few minutes back, I was the cynosure of everyone's eye. I was the apple of everybody's eye. And it is trying to say, hey, it's me, that donkey. And so, it is shocked with the behavior of man. And so it goes back to its master and it says, Master, what is this? How do you explain this? Just half an hour back, I was like the most venerated. Everybody was doing pranams. I was telling them not to do, and still they were doing. And just half an hour later, I'm a nobody. And then the master says, you donkey, you are a donkey only. Those people were not doing pranams to you. Those people were doing pranams to the Lord who was sitting on your back. Okay, so this is the story we all understood. Where Swami starts from here is, you are all also like that only. He would point at, he would tell all the students, okay, as long as you are associated with me, you will get all the pranams. The moment you let me off, you let go of me, you will know what is your level. So when brother was introducing me as the man, the myth and the legend, I was only thinking, I don't want to be the donkey. The man, the myth, the legend, and the glory is only one. Okay? And that is our sweet Lord sitting here. So let's not get into all of these other things and just focus this entire retreat on that one power that powers the entire universe, including every single breath of ours. So I love the story so much because I constantly keep reminding myself, I don't want to be the donkey. As much as all the brothers and sisters over here come and says, oh, Sairam, Prashanthi Bhajan group, Sevadal, etc., it's nothing but being a donkey. Right? And I'm sure that every Sai student over here will definitely kind of resonate with that thought. The only thing that adds some value to our CV is our association with Swami. Right? Well, now coming back to what I would like to share with you is if you can just have the PPT, and it's very, very simple PPT. There's nothing spectacular about it. But I just thought that it will give us a framework to understand, what we can possibly do in the next 2.5 days. So we call ourselves retreat, right? So there is a way that we have been treating ourselves, right, all of this time, and now we come here to retreat ourselves. Correct? We've been treating ourselves in a particular way, but we come to a retreat like this to figure out how we can actually retreat ourselves. There's something wrong with the way we have been treating, or there is something wrong in the way we should be treating ourselves, even in the normal world, in our day-to-day life. And it is to, kind of get that course correction, why we need to do this retreat. So how do we intend, what could be a possible way to retreat ourselves? And that is what I will present to you. Mind you, whatever I say, then this is what I would always tell to students in my class, is you will hear a lot of things over here. from here. Don't take everything. You need not take everything. You will not be agreeable to whatever I say over here. Take what you want, leave what you don't. Fair deal? Is that a fair deal? Right? Take what you want. Whatever is useful to you, take it. But having taken it, do contemplate on it. Right? So, in this retreat, I'm sure the next slide will kind of... have you seen this? This is one of the more famous movies. So, we are going to use this framework to understand what we will do, what we could do in the next 3 days. What is this RRR? Okay? So, this RRR is recharge, reflect, and resolve. I'm sure that each one of you sitting over here have come for one of these three, if not for all of these three. I'm sure that, even as we sit over here and as this talk ends and as Geeta auntie starts to speak, right, what does it do? The first R, it recharges us. Just listening to the stories of Swami recharges us. Am I right? And so one of the things that we have definitely come here to do is to recharge our batteries, so to speak. Every time, we go to Prashanthi Nilayam, or rather when you all come to Prashanthi Nilayam, one of the things that we always hear is, we have come here to recharge our batteries and we feel recharged now that we are here. And while I was leaving Prashanthi to come over here, one of the brothers actually told me, "Brother, go and recharge yourself and come back." And I said, in my mind, I said, I'm not sure whether it's going to be recharge or discharge. Okay. But in a sense, to see Swami's glory all over the world is a recharge of its own. You get to know how small and insignificant you are in the world of Swami. Right? When we see devotees like these, when we see the love for Swami's, beating in the hearts of all of you, that is a recharge. See, it's very easy to be in Prashanthi Nilayam and focus on Swami. Right? When Swami is, kind of almost literally your boss. He's the one who's paying you. Right? Swami is the one who pays us all as Central Trust employees. Right? Wherever we see Bhagawan's pictures. Everybody shouting at us also in the name of Swami only. And I feel, many times I feel like, in any other place, your boss, you have a pretty tough day at work. You can go to, your altars. You can go to your home, stand in front of Swami and say, "Swami, what did I do wrong? Swami, change this person." But what if Swami is the boss who is yelling at you? Right? What if you're getting your stick from Swami himself? Whom do you go to then? And in fact, this is one of the questions that I had asked Chakravarti sir. Because I said, "Sir, how does it feel to have God as your boss and also as your God?" Right? Imagine when you have God as your boss, okay, and he kind of gives you a little reprimand. Where do you go to? Often there's a beautiful story in Ramayana where as Rama stands on the banks of, on the shores of on the ocean to cross, he keeps his kodanda, he keeps his bow down. And there is a little frog which is stuck under the bow. Okay, so the bow is sitting on top of the frog. And the frog has just given up. So there is a legendary story where somebody comes and asks the frog, "Hey frog, why are you not praying? Right? Why don't you ask for rescue?" He says, "When the person who is supposed to rescue me, when he only places his bow on top of me, where am I supposed to go?" Right? So a bit, that is how we feel a little bit in Prashanthi. When we are yelled at, no? Arey, Swami is only yelling at us. Okay? So, in a sense, coming over here and seeing you all is like a recharge. Right? And so, I will just share my thoughts on each one of these and see whether some of them resonate with you. What can we do in the next 2.5 days? Right? There is an element of recharge. There must be an element of reflect. Right? If we don't have reflection in our spiritual lives, then as Brother Udayagirish said, we have ticked off a bunch of activities from the morning. That's all happens. Right? Satya Sai Seva organization becomes another platform to tick off a bunch of activities. Are we here? Did we, we already have a bunch of activities in our day-to-day life. Have we come to Prashanthi or have we come to Swami to tick off another set of activities? Point to ponder, right? Are we here to just tick off a bunch of okay, some bhajans, some seva, some meditation, some nagar sankirtan, some suprabhatam, or is there something more to it? What is it that I want? Why am I over here? Reflect. Okay, and having done the two, having recharged yourself and having reflected, what should be the end point? There must be a resolve that while I walk out on Monday morning after this retreat, my life will never be the same again. If it goes back to being the same, what has this retreat served? As I was mentioning over the last couple of days, it just becomes spiritual entertainment. Correct? Means I could be watching Netflix, or now I will listen to Geeta Auntie. Equally entertaining. Possibly, in the sense, this is, I satisfy myself by saying that this is good entertainment. At least I'm not wasting my time doing Netflix. That's all it is. Oftentimes, the reason why I say this from my own experience. During the pandemic, about 7 or 8 of us or 10 of us used to be allowed to enter into mandir every day because there were no devotees. And we would be singing bhajans morning and evening. Okay, and so it started from in March of 2020, and up to almost March of 2022, we were just 10 of us going, and like donkeys we were braying in mandir. Right? And somewhere, just imagine, every single day, morning, evening, it almost became like a chore for us. It became like another activity to be ticked. Hey, you know what? I need to go to mandir because enough singers are not there, so on and so forth. And at some point of time, one day as I was coming out of mandir, one of the brothers, one of my own kind of colleagues who works in our office in the Vidya Vahini Center, he comes and says, "Brother, how lucky you are. It's been a year and we have not got a chance to enter into Kulwant Hall, and you are entering into Kulwant Hall every day twice." And that's when it kind of, it was the shock that I needed. You are getting that opportunity. What are you doing with it? Right? So even as we were singing bhajans and all the devotees around the world and everybody was saying, "Oh, wonderful bhajans, Sai Ram, fantastic." What was it doing to me? Right? Somebody else was getting recharged. What about me? Was I reflecting on my own bhajan experience? Right? And that was the time when, and I shall kind of, even share some more stories about how Swami has made me reflect, okay, and to take certain resolutions. So let me start with, first of all, recharge. I feel that even as I will share a few experiences of mine, what I would like you to do is to go back into the treasure chests of your own heart, okay, and relive the first moment you had with Swami. Let me take you back to 2005, 2004 in fact, and it was a time when, Swami had a fall in Brindavan and his hand was fractured, and Swami wouldn't come out for darshan. And there were only 9 boys who were allowed to go into Brindavan. Okay, so just imagine, all of us used to wait outside. We used to do bhajans every day, while 9 boys would go inside, have breakfast with Swami, would have lunch with Swami, would have dinner with Swami. Okay, and as they would come out, we would then sit with them and say, "Hey, what did Swami say today? What happened inside, etc., etc." So they were pretty much our broadcasters to what was going on inside. And so you can imagine, right? Just 9 boys, what an exclusive privilege that they would have had. And June was coming. So typically June 1st is the beginning of the academic year. And so we leave, all of us on 30th or 31st of May, we leave Brindavan to go to Prashanthi and start the new academic year. And so these 9 boys on 30th of May, they were sitting inside with Swami. Okay, and Swami said, "Hey, Hiroj already Muppai aindi, 30th aindi. Velandi, go, all of you go to Prashanthi. That is, today is already 30th. Okay, your college starts day after tomorrow. Come on, all of you go." Now just imagine having had like 1.5 months with Swami exclusively, having meals with him, having like a chit chat with him every day, you suddenly have to come to reality to know that you're going to go back to hostel, to Prashanthi, that hot place without Swami. And so all of them, like, they were shocked. They said, no, Swami, we will come with you. Whenever you come to Prashanthi, we will come along with you to Prashanthi. And Swami said, no. Why? All other boys are going, no? What is so special about you? Okay, why should you alone come with me? All other boys have to go to college. And so it kind of, it struck. And this is a thing that would happen with Swami every time, okay? In Kodaikanal, in wherever you were, in Ooty or in, Hadshi or Delhi or wherever you were, Swami would kind of bring you back to reality. Hey, you know what? This is just a chance you have got. Don't take it for granted. Anyway, so all these boys, literally they were like crying. Swami, please, Swami. Okay, and Swami was like, no, what? What do you want? College is starting. You're all students. You're supposed to go and study in college. And they, Swami, how can we leave you? Like, how can we leave these beautiful moments that we have had with you? And Swami tells them a beautiful thing. And one of those brothers, he shared it with me. He said, everybody was literally, it was genuine tears of the pangs of separation. Okay, that we were going to leave Swami and we were going to go back to that college, right, who nobody was interested in anyway, right? And so Swami says, see, each and every day that you have spent with Swami, is now there in your heart. And whenever in your life, going forward, whenever you are in a moment of, of that nadir of your life, when you go down in your life, open that heart of yours and relive these moments with Swami. These moments have the source of infinite energy. Swami said, these moments with Swami have the source of infinite energy. They can lift you from wherever you are. You see, memories with God, are not like other memories. And this is where once Swami asked, what is the difference between happiness and bliss? What is the difference between happiness and bliss? Do you know? When you have a beautiful breakfast like we had this morning, poha, one of my favorite food, or when you have a wonderful pizza, I'm sure pizza is a favorite of most of you here, right? Tell me, do you feel happy? Genuinely, let's not kid ourselves. Any favorite food, do you feel happy? Yes, right? We definitely feel happy. When you get a beautiful night's sleep, a deep sleep of 6-7 hours, do we feel happy in the morning? We do feel happy, of course. When we see or when we hear beautiful music, when we see a stunning scenery like we will see, over here, the mountains and the rivers, does it not make us feel happy? Of course it makes us feel happy. So what is the difference between this and that? What is the difference between this happiness and the bliss that we get, let us say, after a deeply satisfying bhajan session? Right? So once Swami had asked this question, what is the difference between happiness and bliss? And the difference is this. This is what Swami explained. Swami said, a memory which at that moment gives you joy, that is happiness, having thought of it a little later, that actually gives you dissatisfaction, that is only happiness. For example, imagine you had a wonderful 5-course banquet 15 days back. Can you think of it today and gain the same amount of happiness? Imagine you went to a fantastic resort, let's say Switzerland, in the Swiss Alps. Okay, you were kind of, you were enjoying. Okay, let's say how many ever years back, last year or a couple of years ago. Today, when you think about that, does that give you the same amount of happiness that it gave you then? No, it does not. Right? So Swami was saying that is happiness. In fact, today when I think about that moment, it gives me a dissatisfaction. Oh, so nice that moment was, so good it was. Oh, that food was I miss it today. Right? Whereas, that memory, thinking of which, even today, it gives you the same amount of joy, if not more, that is bliss. And you see, our memories with Swami are like that. Even today, when we think about them, and believe me, for some of you, you will think, hey, brother, you are lucky because you had them. What about me? Don't worry. You have the right to pray for that kind of an experience. In fact, one Swami was saying, you don't have to pray for anything. A devotee has no right to pray for anything but one. What is that? Swami, I want an experience with you. Okay? Ask, pray for an experience and I shall give it to you. You have the right. A devotee has the right to pray. That is why Mirabai, right? What did she do? Darshan dijo aaj. You better give me today. Give me that darshan today. I want it. Right? That is the kind of prayer. And you know what? He has to fulfill it. He has to give it. The reason why I'm saying is, for those of us who have had that experience, that moment, right now, open your hearts and go back to that memory. And you will feel that charge automatically. You don't need to come to retreats. Of course, it's good. I'm not saying don't. Do come to retreats, but use this moment, to rekindle that connection with Swami. And that is not going to come from outside. Yes, at best, what the bhajans can do, what Nagar Sankirtan and all of these activities can do, is it can only give you that necessary energy for you to go within. Right? The charging must happen from inside our hearts. It is already there. All we need to do is to reach out to that place. So, I love to do that. I love to go back and I love to recall my first moment with Swami. And that is what I will do, only for the purpose to give you that energy to go back into your own hearts and reach out the Swami in your heart. So, I was one of those fortunately unfortunate ones. I'll tell you why. Why I say unfortunate is because I always complained to Swami, Swami, you did not have to do anything to get me. All you needed to do was to impress my parents. Buy two, get one free. It was like that. Like all he needed to do was to get my parents, and that's it. My mother simply, when I was born, my mother said, this is God. Okay, fine, this is God. So I said, Swami, you know what? You missed an opportunity to do something for me. Right? God has lost an opportunity to get a devotee. Like, put in some effort, God. Do something to get me. You can't just get a free devotee like that, right? Right? So this is how I look at myself. I'm like, there's no cancer cancelled in my life. There is no vibhuti manifesting somewhere. There's nothing, there's nothing like that which happened to my life to prove that. Right. So I was born in a devotee family. Right? When I was born, my mother said, this is God. But I still remember that my mother would always tell me, because what do we know whether he is God or not, right? Who are we to certify somebody as God? Certificate can only be given by somebody who's above that person, right? Your university can certify you to be a graduate. A primary school child cannot certify you to be a graduate, isn't it? So when we certify him to be God, just imagine what we are doing. So, we have taken upon the authority to certify him as God. How funny is that? Man certifies God to be God. So I don't believe in that at all. What we do usually, right? He should tick off some boxes. Omniscience, tick. Omnipresence, tick. Omniscient, hence proven he is God. No, I don't know. I don't understand that concept. Right? So my mother, in fact, had said, forget God. Make him the hero of your life. This is the only hero worth having in your life. Right? So even as I look at my own nephews, who are small, and back then they would have Spider-Man and Superman and all the Marvel heroes. I had one marvelous hero, which was Swami. And for me, that was literally so. In the sense, I don't know, I must reveal to you a very controversial thing at this point. I used to have my own secret darshan sessions in the afternoon. You know what was that? I would come out as Swami. And when everybody else would go to the bed in the afternoon, I will step out of the interview room door. I will look at all my imaginary devotees. I will also do this. Okay, and I will also hold the edge of my robe. Today, if I were to do that, highly controversial. You understand what I mean, right? So I used to give my own secret darshans. I must reveal this. Okay, I used to collect secret, imaginary letters from people. Okay, from far only I'll say, Chustanu Bangaru, kuchu, kuchu. I used to literally imitate, because for me, more than Swami being God, right? For me, he was my superstar. Everything about Swami was so bewitching, right? The way he walked. It was like a lion. You know, oftentimes, especially back in those days when there was the sands of Prashanthi Nilayam, right? It's so difficult to walk on sand, right? Try walking on a beach. How difficult it is to walk on sand. You know, you will be like... But when Swami would walk, it would be like a glide. It was almost like Swami was on rollerblades. Right? Because he wouldn't walk. He didn't have that gait. He would simply glide over the sands. All my elder brothers over here will surely recollect those days. And that itself used to be... And those days, if you notice Bhagawan's robe, it would cover his feet. And so you couldn't see his feet. So you used to wonder what's happening below. How can a person walk like this? So I used to try and walk, I used to try and walk without that gait. Like, how do you do it? Just from, that's the style of Swami, right? And then when he would come out and he will just look at everybody and then do this. Kya baat hai? Right? We used to always wonder, we used to ask our Bal Vikas teachers, I used to ask my mother, what is the meaning of this? And we had found several meanings. So many people, you see, one act of God, people are ready to put meanings to it. Like so many people had said, this means that he's actually creating many universes. But there was one meaning that kind of stuck with me. Okay, and it's a hilarious one. Whenever Swami came out and he stood and looked at all his devotees and did this, one of the persons had told me, in Hindi it sounds really good. He said, he would have said, "Kaise kaise namune aate hain mere paas." That is, I'll translate. What kind of specimens come to me? Why did I even come down? What was I expecting? And typically after that, Swami would say something like, I don't know whether you have seen in videos, he'll give up little pout. Right? So he will sign off. It's almost like you have written off. So, okay, I'm not sure whom we are clapping for here, for ourselves. Oh yes, we are the written off lot. Kuch nahi ho sakta, nothing can be done with us. Okay, so think about what you're clapping for. Right, so that was one of the hilarious one, Swami would come out and look at, what did I think? This fellow. So everything about Swami used to be so beautiful. So I used to, look at him. And there was one thing which was extremely dear to me back in our Samiti in Bahrain, where my parents were. We had an extremely strict Samiti, No children were allowed to attend bhajans, the weekly bhajans. If you're a toddler, you have to sit inside. Because, while the bhajan is going on, you'll suddenly have alaps coming. Quack, somebody will start shouting, etc. So extreme discipline. So all the kids were asked to, they were locked inside and said, you do whatever you want, don't disturb this. Okay? So very strict. Except one child was allowed to attend bhajans, and that was me. Because I loved bhajans. So I would keep looking at what the tablist is doing, what the harmonium player is doing, how are the singers singing. And so people would come and, pat, oh, very disciplined boy, very good, very good. So I, even at that age, I had like stars on my, on my shoulders over here, most disciplined kid, right? So with that stars on my shoulders, I remember my first ever darshan, probably 84, 85. And so as always, we go to Prashanthi, and I'm sure for those of you who remember those days, more than we having Swami's darshan, a darshan was termed as good or bad if Swami had our darshan. Correct? Means oftentimes, I'm sure we used to have these conversations. Hey, how was darshan? How was darshan means what? Just imagine, God is coming on earth, we are seeing him, and typically, hey, how was darshan? Darshan was okay. Okay means from far, means basically I saw Swami, but Swami didn't see me. Correct, no? A darshan would be really good if Swami got the opportunity of me touching his feet. I'm carefully using my words, right? If Swami spoke to me and he heard my voice, then it was a good darshan. Correct? So, all of us wanted that good darshan. But as long as we were there on that trip, every single day, our token number used to be 19, 21, 13, right? All of us wanted that coveted token number 1. More than Swami coming out for darshan, token number 1. Who cares if God comes out for darshan or not? Token number 1 is for my first prayer in the morning, right? If you offer all of you, those of you who remember those days. So all of us know, and I still, it was such an adventure in those days to go and look at those lines, okay, and wonder which is that lucky fellow, because the guy who sits in the first row, he's the one who puts his hand. So we'll look at, and all the people sitting in the first row, no, they will be like this. They will be at their peak devotion because everybody wants to pick up the token number 1. So we will look at there, we will scan them, and we will see who is that candidate who's most likely to pick up token number 1, and we will sit in his line. Anyway, so the penultimate day, we are sitting over there, and guess what? Right? Lo and behold, the sir sitting in our line picks up, and typically that excitement, he'll be like shaking, and also everybody in that line is like, yes, we have done it. So finally we get the token number 1. And so we run in, and by now, we have already established our vantage points, right? We know that place where Swami comes every day. And we know those places where Swami may or may not come, right? I'm sure as you run inside, you're like spoiled for choice. When you run inside, where do I go? Where do I sit? Okay, so you go to the place where every day Swami has come over there. So now just imagine, this is the moment of my life. Like, this is the moment of reckoning for me. Right? All of my life, however short or long it was by then, right? It is all about that moment because I'm going to see my superstar, right? The person, my hero, is finally going to come and stand in front of me, right? So I'm going to have that moment with him. And so I'm waiting for that. I'm sitting, I'm closing my eyes, and I'm wondering, when is that moment going to come? And after some time, I hear one, Sai Ram. So I open, and it is one of our brothers wearing the blue scarf, right? The Sevadal brothers, right? I often call them angels of our spiritual progress. They are responsible for our spiritual progress. They have been kept there so that we spiritually progress, right? So they test you in every single way. What Swami cannot also put test for you, that will be put by those. I'm sure that from the smile that you all have, all of you have experienced there. Correct? So, one of those. And the beauty of our Sai fraternity is that we don't need any other language. We just need Sai Ram. Sai Ram conveys all emotions. Okay? From, hey, Sai Ram! Oh, Sai Ram! A lot of exuberance. Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. Right? One word is enough to convey all emotions. See how Swami has given us a language? By the way, this was not the language of heart, that Swami was referring to. Anyway, so I got one of those Turner Sai Ram. And I just gave him Sai Ram. And he said, so what I did not know is that children were not allowed to sit in first row. Okay, because just imagine Swami would come out for darshan and some random child will start running towards Swami. Right? Because, and children are like that, right? You can't even catch them. They're like soap pieces. They just, slip out. And so Swami would, for Swami, a devotee, let me just take a slight detour here. Swami, in one of the discourses in Sai Shruti, you must have heard that, in Brindavan, Trai Brindavan, he says, boy ante behavior undali. Boy means he should have behavior. Man ante manners undali. So Swami is playing with that, right? Those boy ante behavior. That is, boy, if you want to call yourself a boy, means you should be well behaved. Man ante manners undali. If you want to consider man, you should have manners. Then Swami says, devotee ante Devotion undali is what we will think. Swami says, na, discipline undali. For devotee, he is, his hallmark is not the devotion that he has, but the discipline that he has. Okay? So for Swami, discipline is absolutely number one. Right? So the children were maximum allowed in the 4th row. Okay? So he was just doing his duty. The Sevadal sir comes and says, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. So I'm saying Sai Ram means where? So, see, at that moment, you suddenly get to know who is your relations and who is not. So I wanted to tell, my father was also there, right? So I wanted to tell my father, please tell him, I am not one of those kids. I'm not one of those mischievous kids. I've got, did you see stars on my shoulder? The imaginary stars that I carried from Bahrain Samiti. Okay, the certificate of discipline. That's why I said, no, very, very disciplined. I thought that was a certificate, I can use it in Prashanthi. So, obviously not. And my father, he is now lost in his own contemplation on Swami. Suddenly, Kuta Mata, Kuta Pita, it's like that. Kuta Putra, who is this? I don't know this. My father also disowned me. Because he is still looking, he is looking forward for his darshan. Why will he spoil his darshan for my darshan? Okay, these are all my annotations and my conditions, okay? Footnotes. They're all footnotes. So, because I was not ready to get up, I was physically lifted. And there, in those days, arches used to be there. At the back end of 1980s, arches used to be there. There used to be an arch right at the entrance of gents, which is meant for all the most mischievous kids. I was thrown in that arch. So I was physically lifted and thrown into that arch. And I couldn't take it. Okay, here was the boy from Bahrain, with all my stars. Okay, and I'm being treated like a third-rate citizen. And so I start yelling. Just imagine a pin drop silence in darshan grounds, pin drop silence, 6:30 in the morning, and I start yelling over there. I still remember I yelled, "This is not real Swami. This is not real Swami." Because I'm saying if he was real Swami, he should know the devotion in my heart. Okay? And for some strange reason, the reason which I still don't know, I said, these are not real Sevadals. That also I was shouting. So this is not real Swami. These are not real Sevadals. This is not real Swami. Okay? And lo and behold, both me and my father were thrown out of the darshan ground. What, you thought Swami came and suddenly, no. Both me and my father, who is this? Whose kid is this? Sai Ram. My father, ayyo, my kid only. So just imagine, both me and my father were asked to leave the darshan grounds, and we were now standing in the first row outside the darshan ground. We wanted the first row inside the darshan ground. And as usual, 6:45, Swami came, finished the darshans, and he went back in. And, tears streaming down. It's our last darshan, right? Tears streaming down my cheeks, and my dad is like, "No, please don't cry here also. From here also they will throw us out." In those days, what used to happen, like most of you may know, we would typically, after Swami goes in for interviews, everybody would go to have breakfast, right? We'll go back to their rooms, they'll freshen up, and they'll come back in time for bhajans. So typically, Swami's darshan will go on for about 20 to 25 minutes, right? So 7:15 he will go in, and then probably come out by 8:45, 8:50 and go for bhajans. So everybody will come back in time for bhajans. That day, my father said, "See, anyway, this is one of our last darshans. Let's give up breakfast. Okay, and we'll just go inside and sit, because we have not even, at least till then, we were getting 19th number, 13th number and all. This was the darshan we were having from outside. So at least let's go and sit inside. Okay, and just feel that while all other devotees have gone." So we go inside after everybody's out, we are in. That day, at around 8:15 itself, the interviews are over. There is nobody in the darshan grounds, means very few people, a smattering of people here and there, about 50, 60, 100 maybe. And Swami comes out, he's finished the interview. He's coming out of his interview room door. And I see him standing there, and from there he looks straight in my direction, where we were sitting, and from there he starts walking straight, ramrod straight. Swami is walking and comes, and now just imagine at that point there is no token, there is no lines, there is nobody, there is no Sevadal. It's just Swami and me. And exactly the darshan that I wanted to have. My superstar, right? My mega star, my hero is walking all the way up to me. Right? And he comes up to me and there's nobody to push me back. There is nobody to tell me, hey, go and sit over there. Swami is right in front of my eyes. And he says, hey, kai ko chillata hai? Okay? This was around 8:15 in the morning. I did not know that sound travels so slowly. I had shouted at 6:30 in the morning. लेकिन ऊपर वाले के घर में देर है अंधेर नहीं. Right? That was famous saying. That's okay. Don't worry. Basically, in the Lord's house, there may be delays but never denials. Right? Swami walks up and he's saying, hey, kai ko chillata hai? And for me, I don't have an answer because I am just so mesmerized because this is exactly what I wanted. I'm looking at his large face and his large hair. Okay, and then he pats on my back. He says, a good boy. Okay, and then he says, take Pad Namaskar. And so I take Namaskar, and then Swami turns back and he walks back. That day, my hero walked into my life. Every single time I have any problems in my life, I simply relive this moment. In each one of our lives, Swami has walked in like this. Once, Swami was talking to the Brindavan boys. Swami said, hey, Pillalu, okay, hey boys, listen. Either you allow me to enter into your heart or I will break and enter into your heart. You have only two options. Either you allow me to enter into your heart or I will break through and enter into your heart. But enter I will. Right? So we have now a choice whether we want to open the hearts, the doors of our heart to let our Swami in. You see, the beauty of when I contemplate on this incident, if I would have actually sat that day in the first row, I probably wouldn't have had this story to tell or this experience to have because all I wanted was a nearby darshan. But what I instead got was darshan, sparshan and sambhashan. That is, I had a chance to see him, I had a chance to touch him, and I also had a chance to listen to him, to talk to him. So many times, whatever we get in life, at that moment may not feel like, Swami, this is not what I had asked for. Okay, and Swami says, hang on, I have something better to give you. Right? It'll look like you're going away from Swami before you come back to Swami. Right? It may look like, hey, I'm taking the left turn when I'm actually supposed to take the right turn. Hang on, don't worry. Right? This road will bring you in a much scenic route back to me, and that will be a far better journey for you. So many times in our lives, we may feel that we are going a little away. Don't worry. Just hang tight. That's the other, that's the other lesson I get. See, from first row to being thrown out and to being brought back in only to get a beautiful experience. So the only reason why I'm sharing this experience is I'm sure each and every one of you have that experience in your life. Correct? Right now, contemplate on that. That is the way you will reach out. You see, when you go back to that moment, I can guarantee you that the energy that you will get from that experience is the same, if not more, today also. It would have happened in the 1980s, 70s, 60s, 50s, whenever. But it has the power to give you that energy. That is how we can recharge ourselves. I was reminded of, there was a conversation once, very recently, about a few years ago, we had with Padma Kasturiji. She is the daughter of Kasturi Garu. Right? One of the doyens, one of the stalwarts of the Sai fraternity. And she was sharing something very, very, very touching. Padma Kasturi's life, Srimati Padma Kasturi's life was an absolute challenge. You name the kind of turbulence and problem that she would have had in her life, and she had it. Right? Bad marriage, difficult children. Her mother, imagine Mrs. Kasturi sir's wife, was paralyzed for 11 years. She was bedridden. Kasturi sir's wife. I did not even know this, right? Until she told me this. That Kasturi himself, imagine somebody who had dinner with and lunch with Swami on a day-to-day basis. And so she would always, she had lost it. She was like, Appa, go and tell Swami, my life is hell. Why is this happening to me in my life when somebody like Swami is there in my life? Right? And you are so close to him, and you travel around the world talking about Swami did this and Swami did that and Swami appeared here. Your own wife is on the bed for 11 years. One touch from him. And this is the beauty, this is the maturity of the devotion. Kasturi said, I am not going to do that. If you want, you tell Swami. Okay? So, but you go and talk about Swami all over the world, right? Why can't you just tell him about... He said, does he not know? Even physically he knows, right? If he chooses not to do anything about him, who am I to tell him? Kasturiji. Not someone, not one of us. Right? Even he felt, hey, you know what? If Swami does not want to do it, it's definitely good for me. Right? So she was telling, one day when she was not able to hold it enough, she's sitting in the darshan lines when Swami comes, and Swami knew. Right? Swami would always inquire from Kasturi Garu, how is your daughter? How is Padma? Is she doing okay? Because so many challenges in her life. Right? So one day, she said, just imagine having the guts to tell Swami. She tells, Swami, what is the use of having you in my life? Look at my life. My life is a laughing stock. Everything possible wrong that can happen has happened to my life. What have you done? What have you done? Imagine the anguish that she could actually tell Swami like that, right? She says, what have you done for me? And you see Swami's answer, and this is what I wanted to tell. She told me this. Swami just comes up to her and pats her on her, just, kind of cajoles her and caresses her and says, Padma, ask yourself this question. What would your life be without Satya Sai Baba? Okay, think about what would your life be without Satya Sai Baba, and what is your life with Satya Sai Baba? To me, this is one of the formulas that I use in my life. And today I would like to share that with you is, whenever you are in that moment, you want to charge yourself, just say, so and so, my life, Amey Deshpande's life, minus Satya Sai Baba. What would it be? Without God in our lives, what would our life be? And now that God has been added to our lives, what is our life? We are living, no? We are breathing, no? Right? And so she said that she held on to that one statement that Swami made, and it made all the difference from then on. Did it solve all the problems? Not at all. It didn't solve any problem. There were no great miracles in her life that happened after Swami assured her of this. No? But you know what? Her entire life took a completely different perspective. The reason why I say this is, all of us we are so enamored by the miracles of Bhagawan. Right? We are so attracted towards the miracles of Swami. I still remember, Anil Kumar sir explaining, there is nothing great to have faith in Bhagawan after your cancer is cancelled. Having faith in Bhagawan while you are having cancer, that is the greatest miracle. Correct or not? Right? When I'm able to be drawn to Swami, when I hold on to him, come what may in my life, is that not the greatest grace? Or is it a great grace to have everything hunky-dory in my life and therefore he is God? Nothing great in that. Right? So, that is how we can recharge ourselves. By thinking of what is our life without Satya Sai and what is our life with Satya Sai. Now let us move on to I'll just check the time. I have time till? 45 minutes, yes. So now let's move on to the next, which is having recharged ourselves. with that, with that first moment, let me just end that point with this, little thought that I have. See, even if it need not be an experience with Swami, okay? It need not be. Many young adults over here, many Balvikas, SSC students over here probably would have never seen Swami. It could simply be an experience of your first bhajan that you sang. I remember the first bhajan that I sang ever in my life. Complete flop show. It was an Akhanda bhajan, I think in 1982 or 83. Okay, and two of us, we were paired singing in Akhanda bhajan in that SSC slot, Namah Parvati Pataye Hara Hara. Absolute flop show. You know why? Because Hara 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 Mahadeva, okay, and then it goes to Hara 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 Mahadeva, Hara 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 Hara. And my brother had sung, the one who was singing with it had already gone to the next line while I was singing the previous line. And then we looked at each other, boss, where are we? And then the bhajan stopped. So it was an absolute flop show. But I still remember that first bhajan. I still remember that Namah Parvati because it was a moment of my life. And the reason why I say this is for each one of you over here, I'm sure one of the greatest moments of your life was when you were a wannabe singer, you were a bathroom singer. In bathroom sound, everything sounds so good because the acoustics of bathrooms are so good. I wonder why they don't do recordings in bathrooms. Right? Because in the bathroom, amazing I sound. Poof. I mean, this is no greater singer like, Taylor Swift or Beyonce, like nothing in front of me. So from the bathroom, you finally come to the Samiti, right? And then you try. Okay, and finally, the bhajan coordinator says, yes, brother or sister, today is your first bhajan. And all your life, you have been waiting for that one chance, correct? And all you say to Swami, Swami, just once only I want to sing. Correct? Our first chance is that only one time I want to sing. Okay, so we sing that first bhajan, and after the bhajan gets over, somebody comes and says, wonderful brother, so nice. Okay, and the moment, oh, I'm wonderful. So then, next week you look expectantly at the bhajan coordinator. Okay, and the bhajan coordinator, out of great mercy, says, sing one more. This week also you sing. And so it begins. Okay? Week after week. Okay? 7-8 weeks and 10-12 weeks. And after that, one day the bhajan coordinator says, today you will not sing. Huh? I will not sing. Brother, it's me. Yes or no? I'm sure the way you guys are laughing, you all agree with me. Right? So it starts with that. And then after having sung for 6-8 months, after that, in the Akhanda bhajan, I should be slotted in the first hour. Correct? The best singers are supposed to sing in the first hour of Shivratri and Akhanda bhajans. Correct? Right? So and then you suddenly get it in the third hour, or midnight, 2 o'clock is your chance. And you're like, I am the lead singer in my Samiti. And you give me a 2 a.m. chance? Right? And so this is how our bhajan, it has happened to me also. Right? Just imagine, go back to that day when you wanted just one chance. All we wanted is that one chance to sing in front of Swami. You see how it starts? Right? Let us be aware of that. Okay? So, it could be just that one bhajan that you have sung which has deeply connected you. Go back to that. That is a source of immense energy in our lives. Having recharged, now let's come to the next, which is to reflect. Right? Unless there is a beautiful term in Vedanta which is called Simhavalokana. Okay? What does it mean? It seems, when the lion walks, every now and then, and you would have seen this in documentaries, the lion stops and looks back. Okay? It's called Simhavalokana. You know what it means? It means that the lion, every now and then, he's the king of the jungle, right? He looks back to see the path that he has traversed. Who is there behind me? Who is not? Who is leading me? No one. In each of our spiritual lives, every now and then, we stop and we should look back. Look at our own spiritual journeys. That is reflection. Nobody is going to help you do that. We have to do it ourselves. In fact, Swami was once telling a bunch of foreign devotees, I'm sure you must have heard this before. Swami said, I can change heaven into earth and I can change earth into heaven, but I cannot change your mind towards God. The Lord of the universe saying, I can change heaven into earth and earth into heaven, but I cannot change your mind toward God. You have to do it yourself. Swami can give us the experiences. Swami can do everything possible, but until we decide that Swami, yes, and now it's you and not the world. I want you and you alone. That is a choice that we have to take. That is the reflection. You see, it's not that we don't love God. We love God a lot. Our problem, is what? We love the world a little more. The only difference, believe me, the only thing that we need to change in our lives is this. It's not that we don't love God enough. बहुत प्यार करता हूँ. I love the Lord a lot. So it's in the balance where you have world on one side and God on one side. God is very, very heavy. Okay, let's say 10,000 kgs of love for God, but 10,001 kg for the world. And so what happens? How much ever love you have for this side, if you don't reduce your love here, the balance is going to tilt this way only. Okay, so it is all about the change that we have to create. That is the reflection. Is it God for the world or is it world for God? You see, what we do, most of us, not this crowd, but the world out there, what does it do? I use God to get something in the world. Correct? The Lord, the mandirs, the churches, the gurudwaras and all the mosques are nothing but ATM machines. We go and we swipe our card, hey Lord, give me this. Which means I'm using God also as a currency. And that's why the super rich and the super powerful don't feel the need for God. Why? Without that only I'm able to get everything. No, why do I need God? Think about it. This is what typically happens. What is happening here? We are using God to get something in the world. What we need to do is to simply flip it around. We need to use the world to get to God. Right? God is our destination, not the world. Right? God is our destination, and now we have to use this world to get to God. This is the crux of all of spiritual sadhana. This is the crux of all of Bhagavad Gita. The Lord is simply saying, Mam anusmara yuddhacha. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is saying, think of me and fight the battle. Don't have to only think of me, don't have to only fight the battle, just think of me and fight the battle. Right? That is the crux, that is the divine formula. Do we do that much reflection? Do we do that much smarana? Right? How does Swami, define this thought process, this smarana? Let me take you back to 2005. Some of us had the opportunity to travel with Swami to Kodaikanal. And Kodaikanal is a very different Swami that you will see, because you will see Swami at the back. In the sense, you will see the behind the scenes of Bhagawan. Oftentimes in Prashanthi, Brindavan and all, you will see Swami coming out for darshan. In Kodaikanal, you will see Swami going out for darshan. Right? So you will see what happens before darshan, what happens after darshan. Right? So our first darshan will be in the morning at around 6 o'clock. Fresh like a fresh lily. Okay, immediately after bath, Swami will open his bedroom door. Okay, and you will see Swami just having had bath. That will be your first darshan, and then Swami will ask. And there will be just one wall, in between. So on one side there are students sleeping, on the other side is Swami's bedroom. Okay, and then Swami will say, Ninna ratri nen baga padkoledu. Swami said, I didn't sleep properly. Somebody was snoring outside. So there were strict instructions. Hey, all snorers go to ground floor. Because Swami used to stay on the first floor. Okay, so I didn't know whether I snore. Which snorer knows whether you're snoring or not? So I just took the easier way out. I said, I'll go to ground floor. Right? So it's like that. It's that kind of Swami that you will kind of see over there. It's absolutely like intoxicating proximity. You cannot go away from Swami. The farthest you will be sitting will be about 5 feet away, from Swami. Like that it is. So you'll have breakfast and lunch and snacks and dinner with Swami. So on one of the days, we were about to get ready to go for the evening bhajans, which happens in the Sai Shruti Bhajan Hall. And the beauty of that Swami is the amount of expectancy that devotees have for Swami. Swami also has that much expectancy to go and see his devotees. You know what he would do? Before darshan, no? He will open the curtain and see all devotees. And then he'll say, Chudu, yantamanti vacharu. See how many of them have come. Just imagine, for Lord of the Universe, he's looking expectantly at all his devotees who have come. Okay, and then he'll say, see, paapam, chala, chudandi, yanta challaga undi. See how cold it is, and they have braved all that cold to have darshan. Okay, and then he'll say, look at you fellows. That will be the typical thing. Like we also want to tell Swami, at one point of time, we were also there, Swami. Means, because of our great good, prarabdha karma, we have come here. For those of you who get it. Right. So, we would see this part of Swami. And so one day, just before bhajans were about to start, Swami asks, Chudu, whether the bhajan hall is full or not. No? See whether, devotees have assembled. And so our Vishnuvasan sir, he went over there and he said, Swami, Andaru Vachar Swami, it's full, jam-packed Swami. Andaru Meekosam, they are waiting for you. Velandi, Pillalu, oh, come on, Legandi, he'll say, get up, go for bhajans. Start bhajans, I am coming. No, that's the signal. And then Swami says, Chudu, yanta bhakti undi. See the devotees, how much devotion they have. Okay, so this is one of those moments. And so we, by then we know how much Swami loves devotees. So we are just nodding, and then Swami says, suddenly, Swami had gotten up. Suddenly Swami turns back and turns around and says, but, in Telugu he says, Kani, naku ni devotion voddu. I don't want your devotion. Okay, now when he said that, the first thought I said, whoa, hang on. What are you saying? If God doesn't want devotion, then what does God want? Swami is telling, I don't want your devotion. Okay, and then a few seconds later, Swami says, I want transformation. I don't want your devotion. Okay, now just think about this statement, devotion versus transformation. So in fact, Swami went on to say, why I don't want your devotion? Yendukante, because devotion vastundi potundi. Swami said, devotion comes and goes. You know how? Think about it. It will come on a Sunday evening, or it will come on a Thursday evening. Okay? A beautiful bhajan is sung, just like our brothers and sisters, so beautifully they sang. The Om starts and a beautiful bhajan comes and, Swami. And tears starts to flow down your eyes, and it creates all the right kind of spiritual vibes. Okay? And then the bhajan gets over, Om Shanti Shanti Jai Bolo Bhagawan Jai. Go back and my life is back to normal. Yeah, I cried. Good enough. There is no impact of bhajans. Why? Because the devotion came and it left. As soon as it came, with the same speed it has gone. You think there is any dearth of devotion in this world? Go to any temple in this country. This country, especially in India. Right? Temples are filled with people. You go to Tirupati, you go to Shirdi, you go to Kedarnath, you go to Vaishno Devi, you go to any place. You come to Prashanthi Nilayam, full of devotees. Okay, so there is no dearth of devotion in this country, in this world. Swami is saying, I don't want that. I'm not interested in that. What I want is something that when it comes, it never goes. And that is transformation. Swami said, transformation, once you cannot untransform. Once you transform, once a larvae becomes a butterfly, once a stone becomes a idol, once a seed becomes a tree, it cannot become another seed again. It remains forever. The transformation is permanent. I want that. That is what we need to reflect upon. In our own spiritual journeys, is my devotion coming and going, or is my devotion coming and growing? That growth of devotion is transformation. Right? Let me give you two of my own how this reflection has how Swami has forced this reflection. So back in, you all must be knowing about Grama Seva, about the village Seva that Swami would make us do as students. It started in the year 2000. Have you heard of the Grama Seva? Like, during the Navaratri time, all the students would go into the villages. It's nowhere close to the kind of Grama Seva that is done elsewhere in India. The Grama Seva done elsewhere is absolutely, comprehensive. It is very deep and it's very long, in the sense the association with the village stays for almost 5 to 6 years until the entire transformation happens. Our Grama Seva was more like a trailer Grama Seva, like trailer Seva. Swami would just give us a snapshot of what it means to go and serve in a village. Anyway, now what used to happen is, I was there from almost the first year of Grama Seva. I think it started in 2000, I joined in 2003. So it was almost like, the beginning, and those days the enthusiasm Swami would have for Grama Seva, right? He would be waiting for all students to come back, etc., etc. Now, what would happen is, we went to the Grama Seva, the first year was good, and eventually after I finished my MBA, I joined for MPhil and then for PhD. And as you become more and more senior, you become like, group head. First you become tractor head, then you become truck head. So we have all of these, trucks going in, right? So you will become like head of, you will be the coordinator. Now, so you reach a point where you become like a group head. Because every year we go to the same set of villages. Okay, so we serve in the same villages so that at least somebody is aware of the village, and who all stay in that village. Now, what typically happens is, Swami had told us, whatever number they mention, give that many prasadam, right? So if some house they say 8 people, you give them 8 prasadam. No questions asked. Now, what used to happen is the villagers got to know of this. Okay, so you go, there's a tiny little house of 5 feet by 5 feet. There's a lady standing outside. So you go, Sairam Amma, Swami Pampincharu, that is Sairam Amma, Swami has sent us, Yantamandi Unnaru. This is the standard. How many people are there? She will say 15. You know that 15 people can't even stand in that place. So obviously she is lying. Okay? Now just imagine, we have gone with a plan in our... So typically on a single day during Grama Seva, 40,000 packets of food are distributed. Imagine even if you have an error of 1%, what that will mean. Even a 1% error, right, over 10 days, so in 10 days, 400,000 packets are distributed. A 1% error is 4,000 packets. Right? It will mean that 4,000 people either have not got, or 4,000 people's food has gone waste. Because, it will be only, the rice lasts only 24 hours. So we had to go, it's a beautiful management exercise also. Estimate your demand and go in exactly with that kind of demand for that day. So we had to tell Amma, we'll tell Amma, appadam cheppadam. Okay, these are all words that I had learned. This is how I learned Telugu actually. Okay, through Grama Seva only. We will tell Amma, don't tell lies, correctly tell. And those villagers, they will like, liar, Mia. They'll be like that. They're all very, very, clean at their heart. But if you tell them something like that, no, I am telling lie. You are standing in front of my house in my village and you're telling me. It's like that. So, that. Now what used to happen is, because I was a group head, just imagine my condition. If I don't give a sari or a dhoti to someone, they will take away my shirt and pant. We have experienced that. Okay, all the brothers have experienced that. It used to be literally, okay, brothers, on your mark, get set, go. Get into the truck and run away from the village. Okay, because all aunties will start, running behind you and she'll say, hey, you missed me, etc. Right? It used to be fun. Now, today to look back, at that time, very traumatizing. Okay, so, you're standing over there and they are, they are expecting, and you have to be absolutely ruthless at some point of time and tell them that, hey, this is not going to work. Now, what used to happen is, at the end of the day of a Grama Seva, I used to be absolutely like dissatisfied, distraught, discontent with the work that we have done. So in the evening when we would come to Mandir, and Swami will say, oh, and there used to be these Gram Seva presentations, in those days. Rangarajan sir, Deepak Anand used to make, and they used to talk so highly about the Gram Seva. And I used to say, what is this? You have no idea what's happening in the real Gram Seva. Come with me, I'll show you. Every day, all I'm doing is arguing and fighting and shouting and scolding, getting scolded at. At the end of the day, the villagers are not happy, I am not happy. So I used to say, Swami, what kind of a Gram Seva are you getting it done from us? I'm not able to understand. Right? Nobody's happy at the end of it. They are not happy, I am not happy. Okay, and so, it used to be really frustrating that we plan so much and then you go and then you have, fought with people and come back. So one of the years I decided to bunk Gram Seva. Okay, I simply said I'm not going for Gram Seva. So I gave some excuse, some convocation drama was coming up. One of the dramas, and so I said, sir, very busy in doing drama, so I'm not coming this year. So that year, blissful. Okay, no need to go into the village and fight with everybody. Next year, even before the Gram Seva started, our section, our entire head said, hey, Ameya, last time only you missed, huh? I'm telling you, this time no excuses. You better go. I was like, oh, again I have to go and fight, And so there used to be something called stock vehicle. Brother Uday Girish used to be in a stock vehicle. A stock vehicle is, what? All the vehicles will go into the villages. There will be 2 vehicles which will stand on the outskirts of the village, which will have all the extra food. So whichever team needs food, right? They just have to come up to that midpoint, take some more, and then go back into. So that was the stock vehicle's job was only to replenish the existing or the teams which have already gone. So we won't interact, that stock vehicle guys won't interact with any villagers. Okay? I said, this is an amazing place. Means I will serve my own students. I don't have to serve the villagers. I don't have to go into the village. And at the same time, I can satisfy myself by saying, I'm doing lot of seva. Okay, I'm doing Gram Seva. So I got into the stock vehicle for that 1 year. Now, one of the things about the stock vehicle is, though the stock vehicle will not go inside the village, it will be the last to come back to Prashanthi, because after all people have finished serving, all the extra food will be put back into the stock vehicle, and now we have to finish the food before it comes back to Prashanthi. So we will start distributing all across the road back to Prashanthi. So people who are working in the fields, they will come onto the main road, they will take. So, that is cool, because you just keep distributing from the truck. So we have finished one day, finished the distribution, coming back near the railway station, in Prashanthi, Mamila Kunta Cross it's called. So over there, we have stopped and we are serving, and one beggar-like person comes and starts to pull at my pant. Okay? And, see, at that moment, again, it is like, Sai Ram, hey, I already got, hey, Sai Ram, this is how we are distributing. Like, it's like, constantly, hundreds of people have gathered and we are just giving them food. And this guy is pulling my pant. And, I'm telling him, no dhoti. Dhoti ledo. There's no dhoti. Okay, you're not going to get dhoti. If you want, take food. And this man is saying, I don't want dhoti. Okay, he's saying, na to okasari matladal. I want to talk to you. You want to talk to me. What is it that you have to tell me? Okay, and so I was like, hey, I'll speak to you later. And this guy, just few minutes. So I told the other brothers, okay, you continue. Looks like this person wants something. So I got down from the vehicle. And this man, absolutely torn clothes, rugged, right? He's like a beggar. He starts to tell me in Telugu, he says, sir, I am a beggar. My entire life, I have to stretch my hand out and beg for my food. Okay, I'm not proud of it. I put my head down while I beg. But these 10 days during Navaratri, Swami sends food for me. I don't have to beg. Okay, I can put my head up high and I can say that, na Swami na kosam pampincharu. Swami has sent for me. Okay, thank you for making me feel self-respected for these 10 days at least. I just wanted to pay my gratitude to Swami through you. Even now, when I think of this, it makes me emotional. He didn't want anything. He just wanted to convey to Swami that, Swami, I love you. That day, my life changed. I was thinking I was the person going into villages and distributing. You know what? Absolutely wrong. Swami was giving his prasadam to his children. I was just an intermediary who was supposed to take his prasadam and give it. Swami wanted me to learn that day. Swami wanted to tell me that, hey, you know what? You are nothing. I am the one who is conveying my love to that person. Right? It made me, and that day I went and I cried like crazy in Mandir because a new understanding had dawned. Okay? And I simply decided, hey, you know what? No more stock vehicle. I am going to go into the villages. And Swami had that year had told that when you are distributing prasadam, no, just say Om Satchidanandaya Namaha. This is the instruction he had given. That when you serve, Om Satchidanandaya Namaha, serve. So I simply said, Swami, whoever stands over here, no, I am going to see you in that person. Even if that person fights with me, I will not fight back. Let's see. Dear brothers and sisters, I can tell you, since that day, for the next 6 years, I never fought with anybody. Guess what? Nobody ever fought with me. You see, because yatha drishti tatha srishti. As is your vision, so is the creation. We think that the world is fighting with us. Nah, we are having a problem with the world. Okay? The moment we are able to transform that perspective of ours, no, the entire world suddenly, you know what? Every single day after that, I used to go to the village. I used to say, Saira Mama, to those same ladies, okay, who used to shout back at me. You know what? They would also give me the most beautiful, Saira Ampa, Vacha, you've come. You know what? I never fought again. I never fought again with anybody in my life. In the sense, in the village. Right? It was one of the most, nothing. Swami didn't have to do anything. He just wanted to show that, hey, you know what? You are thinking you are doing seva? You think you are saving my prasadam? By not giving as many? Don't worry. Right? The other incident that I want to tell you is, so this is one reflective moment for me, right? I'm sure in each one of your lives, just be alive to what Swami is telling us. And I think that is one very important thing whenever we do seva, is that we must have reflective sessions on seva. There must be a debrief after the seva, because it is not more than the seva that you do. What is important is what the seva does to you. Who cares whether Sathya Sai Seva Organization, dear brothers and sisters, I'll humbly say from this platform, Sathya Sai Seva Organization doesn't have the responsibility to remove global poverty, global hunger. Swami did not set up our organization to remove hunger, to remove poverty, or to remove disease from earth. That is his job. Okay, why he set up this? In fact, in 1967 and 68, the first 2 discourses of Bhagawan that he gave at the first World Conference and the first All India Conference, Swami says there are so many organizations which are doing exactly what we are trying to do. Why do we need this organization then? This organization is only for one thing, to see me as Sarvantaryami in everyone. The only purpose for which I am asking you to do whatever I am asking you to do, the only purpose is to see me in everybody. And we will come to that understanding of what is that seeing you in everyone. Because the theme for this is all are one. What is that oneness? We will come to that in tomorrow's talk. This is my little advertisement for tomorrow. No, but you are so generous, no? You will, I'm sure, however good or bad it is, you'll still be there tomorrow. You know why? Because of your love for him. Right. My second reflective moment. 10 minutes. My second reflective moment. When we were in our second year during MBA, so the second year postgraduate students are like the creme de la creme in the institute. right? It's like having gone through all the years, you finally reach, second year post-graduation, and it also gives you a lot of importance. Final year pillalu, final year boys. Okay, we are like creme de la creme. So everything is, like we have a passport, we have a visa for everything. Like we can get away with anything. So those are the times when Swami will ask you to sing. So as a singer, you'll be sitting and Swami will say, nu padu. So slowly, you get, your collars go high and you think, man, Sai Bhajans cannot happen without me. Kulwant Hall cannot run without me. Swami himself is asking me to sing. Right? So that moment comes. And so it came. Right? Lots of chances, lots of interactions, And so Swami wanted to now have a moment of reflection. So one day, in those days, Swami would sit for typically only 7 or 8 bhajans, maximum 8 bhajans. So one day mine was the 7th bhajan chance, okay? And after the 6th bhajan, Swami took Arati. Normal. Next day, I was slotted at 6th, and after 5th bhajan, Swami took Arati. The following day, I was slotted at 5th, and after 4th bhajan, Swami took Arati. Now, whenever such a thing happens, in fact, every day we have one of our very senior sirs, Sailesh Srivastav, Dr. Sailesh sir, we all know him, right? The one who has composed Humko Tumse Pyar Kitna, and most of the qawwalis that we all sing, all composed by him. So, we always believe, he's like our, music coordinator there. And we always believe that he has really strong antennas. Okay, like his antennas are high quality. They will be, they will see through all the signals that Bhagawan is sending. What is Swami doing? Because you see what Swami will do, no? He will not tell, I don't want you to sing. He will create these kind of circumstances to ensure that you will not sing. Do you know, there are times when students will go and tell Swami, I want to sing. Swami says, Chala manchidi. And then Swami will call Sailesh sir, hey, don't give him chance. It happens. That's why, the reason I'm telling you this is if you don't get chance in bhajan to sing, that is what is happening. Take it as Bhagawan's prasadam. Okay, just imagine now what really happens is, Sailesh sir, we feel is like the biggest shock absorber. Because several times it will happen that Swami would have told, Chala manchidi Bangaru, nu padu. Means, very good Bangaru, you sing. Okay, then he would have given this instruction. And you will be wondering why I am not getting a chance to sing. So you will go to sir and say, Sir, Swami blessed me to sing. Very good, very good. Yeah, Sai Ram, brother. He cannot tell, Swami told me, brother, you are not going to sing. Okay, so you will be waiting weeks after weeks. Sir, what is wrong, sir? Swami told me to sing. Very good. That's all. So he has all of this. So I knew, okay, the day after the 4th bhajan, the Swami got up, right? I knew, I looked at Sailesh sir looked at me, okay, and I knew, that's it, better run. Because, you'll get a half an hour gyan, you'll get a lecture session. Because I knew something, every day for 3 consecutive days, exactly before my bhajan, Swami is getting up. So, next day, I am slotted at 1. Ganesh bhajan. Okay? So, as I'm sitting over there, I'm singing, today where you will run, Swami. 3 days, you have not heard my sweet voice. Today I'm Ganesh. I have to sing. Right? But you see, this is when Brother Balu was telling, Puttaparthi Chakravarti. Okay, he is the Chakravarti of Puttaparthi. He is the master of the universe. That day, so in those days, what used to happen? Some days bhajans used to be outside. That is where they are now. And some days they used to be in bhajan hall. This was 2004, when Vedam chanting had just started. And Swami would sometimes sit outside, sometimes he'll go into bhajan hall. So we all would be seated outside, and in case Swami goes inside bhajan hall, then we will all run inside bhajan hall. So that day Swami is seated outside and Vedam chanting is going on. And as Vedam chanting is, happening, Swami calls speakers to come and speak. Randomly he will call, will anybody speak? And these used to be just impromptu speeches. What would typically happen is, just like me who's praying to sing, there are others who are also praying to speak. Right? They have prepared speeches. So many of our classmates were there in that, right? We would always have a speech ready. Because you never know when Swami will give you an opportunity. Swami will simply call the warden and Swami will say, is there anybody to speak? Right? So you should be ready. So we will all have one speech ready. So that day suddenly Swami calls speakers. And one by one speaker, two speaker, three speaker, 6 speakers spoke that day. So I am looking at the clock. Okay, it's 1 hour, 15 minutes over. 6 speakers, I'm thinking, my God, I never thought this can also happen. Then, but you know the monkey mind, how it is? The monkey mind is also thinking, why am I thinking it's my problem? Maybe it's their devotion, their prayer Swami is listening to. Correct? No, why am I taking the whole thing onto myself? Okay? And basically to show me that it's exactly meant for you only, you know what Swami does? After 6 speakers finish speaking, Swami looks at primary school children. And Swami says, today you sing bhajans. In the history of Prashanthi Nilayam, that has never happened. Okay, primary school children, just imagine 7th class, 8th class, 6th class children, they have come. And you know how children's bhajans are. I mean, with due respect to children, all the youngsters over here. Raja Vilola Nandalala. No? Right? Bhajans are like that. Because full Josh. And just imagine, it is a golden moment for them. Okay, and half an hour Swami is sitting and enjoying bhajans. Okay, all the kids are like singing, you know, full-throated, full-hearted. Okay, needless to say, after the bhajans, Swami took Arati. After that, Sailesh sir comes to me and says, brother, means you take off. No, it's very nice for you to laugh now. But it's an absolute devastation to hear, you know, being told, don't sing. And you know why? Not because you're not singing correctly. Because Swami does not want to hear you. Correct, no? Brother, don't sing. You take off. There is some problem. Why? Between you and Swami. Okay? And so, from that day onwards, I stopped singing. For 40 days. Every day I would go for bhajan and sit at the back. And believe me, dear brothers and sisters, those were some of the best days of my life today when I look at them. At that time, they were excruciating. Okay, to know that Swami does not want to listen. Just imagine, the whole purpose of your life is to sing in front of Swami, right? The same Swami does not want to listen to you now. What do you do? That's why when I started, no, the God who you are supposed to pray, when he only screws you, where do you go? Right? So what used to happen is every day after bhajans, I would run back to hostel. I would go to music room. We have a music room in the hostel. And I would sing over there. Right? It is to the same Swami, but, right? Who else will you sing to? Those were some of today when I look back, those were the most reflective moments of my life. Why am I singing bhajans? Who do I think I am? Right? And so after 40 days, right, Sailesh sir looks at me and says, we'll try today. Let's try. Meaning, let's see whether your equation with Swami is okay or not. So I was going to sing the 3rd bhajan, slotted at number 3. And that day, Swami calls 4 speakers to speak. In between, no other speaker days, okay? That day, after Vedam chanting, 4 speakers are called. I still remember, while the speakers were being called, no, some of them don't even want to speak. One of the brothers, I won't reveal his name, Swami says, come. You know, when we were not prepared for a speech, you should see how we all used to. We used to just hide behind others. Correct? Correct, Balu brother? Right, we would just hide behind. We'll just look like that. Not me, not me. Okay, because he will just randomly call, hey, Noora, Matladu. Just imagine, in front of Kulwant Hall, you are supposed to speak. Okay, means you cannot be speaking some mumbo-jumbo there, right? It has to be and that too Swami will say, he will be introduced, that speaker will be introduced as some double postgraduate and all that. So you're supposed to hit it at that level. Your speech should be of that level because vice chancellors will be sitting. And you know what? Swami is not the fear factor there. It's all these others. Vice Chancellor, because after they'll say, we'll get an interview from Vice Chancellor after that, if the speech was not good. So everybody's like, so this brother, I still remember, it's hilarious, Swami saying, come. I don't want. So Swami calls him, Yedo koncham matladu. Say something. Say something small. Swami, I don't know, Swami. Hey, just go and speak. So this brother, just imagine in Kulwant Hall, I still remember one of the shortest speeches. Okay, in the history of Kulwant Hall, what was, he was a Vedam boy. He continues to be a Vedam boy now. He stood over there. Om Purnamadha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. This is full, that is full, this full has come from that full. Even though this full has come from that full, this remains full, that remains full. Jai Sai Ram. This was his whole speech. This was his whole speech. And especially these Vedam boys and Bhajan boys, we have a very good kind of segue. We have bhajans. If you don't know anything, just start with a bhajan. As the bhajan is going on, you'll think what to say. So this brother simply said, Purnamadha Purnamidam, this is full, that is full. This full has come from that full. Even though this full has come from that full, this remains full, that remains full. Okay? So now in my mind, I was thinking, Swami, why are you calling people who don't want to speak? I am sitting here who wants to sing. Right? And after the 4 speeches were over, okay, Swami looks at the bhajan group and says, rendu bhajan. Let's have 2 bhajans. And at that moment I said, what is your problem? Why can't we have 3 bhajans? You know very well that I am at number 3. Right? And so the bhajan started anyway. And now just imagine, heart is beating really fast, because if that day I do not sing, right, I will never sing again. That will be the end of the bhajan career. Right? And so high bandwidth, I'm broadcasting prayers. Okay? Full 5G, 8G, Swami Ji. Swami, sorry, Swami. Okay, and I'm saying, Swami, I am nothing. I'm zero, Swami. Right? And I'm simply praying like that. I say, Swami, I know everything is in your hands. Right? Just help me to accept whatever comes. Okay, and as the second bhajan gets over, in those days, that brass rails used to be there. And Swami would stretch his hand out to kind of get up, with that support. And that would be the signal for Pujari sir to light the lamp, And so 2 bhajans get over, and Swami's hand stretches out, and Pujari lights the arati, and my heart sinks. Okay, because arati is now going to start. And even as Swami is getting up, Swami looks at the bhajan group and says, Inkokati, let's have one more bhajan. And I still remember, I sang the bhajan as Swami stood through the entire bhajan. This was, believe me, the time when Swami had a fracture in his hip. Right? And after that, the arati happened. But the reason I'm saying this is, to teach us a lesson, he will go to any extent. I will stand up with a broken hip to tell you that if you think that you are, if you get ego while singing my name, it's useless. That was one of the great reflective moments of my life. That if we think we're sitting over here, we have been gifted the talent of singing, there's only one purpose for that talent, and that is to be offered back to Swami the way he has given it to us. Okay? While we do any activity in the organization or even in our lives, let's keep this in mind. That everything that we are doing is an offering to Swami. When we are able to do this, we come to the last, and I will end with this, I promise. And that is, we resolve. We have to take that resolve, the third R. What kind of a life as we as Sai devotees are going to make of ourselves? I will only end, though I had a few things to say, I will only end with this this formula. The 3 A's, in the 3 R's I'm going to add for resolve, you can simply do that. How can we take those little resolutions? All we need to do, most of us have already done step A. But I will simply say that the 3 steps are: add Swami in our lives, allow Swami to take our lives, and achieve Swami. So add Swami, allow Swami, achieve Swami. If for many of us who may think that, brother, you had those experiences, we never had that time. How do I connect with God? I have nothing to hold on to. I have nothing. I don't have any family background. I don't have any background to help me gain that love with Swami. All you need to do is add a little bit of Swami. You see, we say so many things, my, right? We say my family, my country, my community, my job, my self-respect. In this long list of my, just add my Swami. All you need to do is to simply add my Swami in the long list of my's. God has this ability, slowly, like the top 10 billboard or top 50 billboards, he starts to go up. You may enter him at top, in the 50th list as my Swami, he will slowly make his way up. And he will become, that my Swami will become number 1. Then it will become my Swami and everything else. There is a beautiful concept called Bhikshu Pada Prasarana Nyaya. In Vedanta, there is something called Bhikshu Pada Prasarana Nyaya. It's a very beautiful concept. Back in those days, there would be, these people who would keep traveling. They will be like vagabonds. They will from village to village. So imagine they come over there. They are standing at the doorstep and they'll say, Bhiksham Dehi, please give me something, right? Give me some food. So you as a good person, Samaritan, you go there and you give him something. Then he says, sir, it's a little hot, sir. Can I just enter into your house? I will sit in one corner. And you as a good person, you will say, oh, yes, please come and sit in the corner. Then, that person has a jholi. So he will put down his jholi. Out of his jholi will come one statue of Krishna or whichever, the Lord statue. And he says, sir, just like you gave me little space here, sir, for keeping my Lord, can you give me that corner of the house? So, yes, please. Oh, yeah, please. So he puts one statue over there. Then he will say, sir, for doing little puja, sir, can I take flowers from your garden? So then that person goes and starts plucking flowers from your garden for the puja. Then he says, sir, for Naivedyam for the Lord, sir, can I come into your kitchen? You see what's happening? Slowly, this little person whom you gave only a little corner of your house, slowly starts to take over your entire house. And slowly, your life becomes all about looking after him now and his God. This is called Bhikshu Pada Prasarana Nyaya. They say, bhakti in our lives, devotion for God in our lives is like that. It enters and it just takes a little corner. My God. But slowly but surely, this my God starts to spread all over your life and it consumes your entire life. Your life becomes one for God. All you need to do but for that is to add God into your life. Can we take the resolution that we will add a little bit of Swami into my life? Into whatever I do, I will add Swami. Number 1. Number 2, for those of you who have already done that, right? Allow Swami now to take over. Right? Let Swami would say, don't make me a part of your life. Make me the center of your life. Right? Swami is not some phenomenon who will just come on a Thursday or on a Sunday in my life. That's making Swami a part of my life. Make Swami the center of my life. Everything in my life revolves around Swami. All my problems, I will tell Swami. All my joys, I will tell Swami. All my successes and failures, I will share it with Swami. Allow Swami. And eventually, we achieve Swami. I have completely run out of time. Maybe I will share this experience of how we can achieve Swami at some other point of time. So just to wrap up, these retreats, the whole idea of having a retreat, in my opinion, is these 3 R's. What are the 3 R's? Recharge, reflect, resolve. By Monday morning, if we would have been able to do recharge, I'm sure is what is going to happen after this session. Correct? Which is that? Geeta Aunty sessions. Right? It's going to be tremendously recharging. We're all looking forward to that. Right? Eventually, through the day and through the evening and through the night and tomorrow, let's reflect. Through the workshops, we will reflect. And hopefully on Monday morning, as we leave this retreat, we will resolve. We will resolve that my life will never be the same again. There's a very beautiful prayer, and I'll end with this. It is said, Swami, I am sorry for I am not what I ought to be. But thank you, Swami, for I am not what I used to be. It's one step ahead every day. Swami, I'm sorry for I am not what I ought to be. There's a long way to go. But thank you, Swami, for I am not what I used to be. Yes, I have come some distance. It's that resolve to go steadily ahead and finally achieve, Swami. Thank you so much. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother Amey, for transporting us to Purti, or should I say, bringing Swami here to all of us today. You reminded us of the 3R, and we are proudly calling ourselves the Region 3, so R3, so we are on theme here. And one thing, Amey, you did for sure, along with the 3Rs, for me, is also to add the 4th R to relive so many beautiful moments with Swami. And
हाथ जो